Hello, welcome back. I'm Noreen Burke, owner of Call Clutter Fairy Home Organizing, and this is my YouTube channel, The Crafty Organizer. I love showing you guys organizing tips, upcycling, DIY crafts, and projects, and today is one of my favorites that I've ever done. Last summer, I found this really cute mini baker's rack that was very similar to the storage shelves that I use. And it's been sitting in my backyard just kind of acting as a catch-all. But one of the things I've always wanted was an actual potting bench. So that's what I did today. Now here's what might shock you. After I did my living room makeover, I swore I would never touch a paintbrush again unless it was for recreational painting. Well, I pulled out the paintbrush because you guys were so wonderful and educational on teaching me what I should have done, things that I could have done differently to make the job easier, and I stumbled across this can of paint right before we got on lockdown, so I thought I'd give it a go. My youngest decided to repaint this bench, and it turned out so amazing that we decided to paint another little storage bench. And that gave me the courage to try using that paint on this baker's rack. So let's see how it turned out. So as you can see, from being outside, it had really gotten rusty. Now it was in okay shape when I got it. It had this interesting area where it's supposed to have wine bottles. So I'll explain what I did with that in a minute, but it had this mini shelf on top and I haven't known what to do with that. But because it's the same stainless steel as those shelves I use, it's incredibly strong. So I got out the paint and it was mind-blowing that this paint was covering this nasty rust in one coat. So thanks to all you who gave me the tips about using different paint. It was actually a good enough experience that I might try painting furniture again. Okay, so I painted this last night and I think it looks a lot cuter today. Now I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with the top here. When the person got rid of this, they had it set up for wine bottles, which was cute. I chose to put it at the top so that I would have two functional shelves because this wine rack is supposed to go under one of these shelves. So this shelf is supposed to be at the top, then the wine rack, and then an additional shelf. So it's repainted. I like the color. I had gotten this from IKEA a couple months ago, and I like it because it's galvanized, but I might end up cutting that down a little bit and using it as a shelf down here. I think I'm going to go through my wood and see if I can make a wooden top for this right here, because I found these little wooden boxes and I think they're super cute, and they're not an exact fit, but they fit pretty well at the top here, and I think that's what I'm going to do is put those little boxes on the top. So let's see what I can do. So this galvanized piece that I got from IKEA actually fit at the bottom. It was tight, I had to kind of tap it in, but I love the look of it at the bottom because it gives me the ability to put my potting soils and things at the bottom. So then I went into my garage, which thankfully is beautifully organized, so going through my wood was a breeze. I had cut down some 8-foot lengths of picket fence, which I got, I think, at Lowe's for $2 or $3 a piece. And I was thinking of doing some different crafts with them, but I've just been holding on to them until the perfect project came along. I think this is it. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and use the 4 picket fences, and I like I like the picket part, so I'm going to go every other so that it still kind of has that little rustic look. And then with one of the bottom pieces, I'm going to cut it so it fits just on the inside of these bars, and that will go along the back side to fill up that little hole there. And then what I'm going to do is add support underneath here where the wine bottles are supposed to go. That's where I'll do a couple of support pieces just to make them all go together. And then this can, basically just rest right on top, and I'll be able to sand it. So that's kind of my plan. Let's see how it works. I was trying to do this entire project with things that I have on hand. You know, I know everyone is struggling with this, but it was so hard to not just think, oh, I'll just run to the store and pick up blah, blah, blah. So I really had to stick with only what I had. So I would have rather had 1 inch by 1/2 inch supports, but I didn't have any. So I have these 1/4 inch paint sticks, and I'm using that for right now. Once we're able to go shopping again, I will probably disassemble this though and strengthen it with wood glue, which I also didn't have on hand, and thicker wood so that it'll be durable over the seasons. I might add another finishing piece right here. I think I have a piece that's 13 inches. Again, I'm not going out and leaving for anything right now, so I kind of have to work with what I have, but let me see if I have a piece for that. But I think it looks cute. That made it look better. I wish I had another piece for the other side, but I don't. So now I'm just going to style it really quick. This was my favorite part. I got to pull out all of the things that inspire me, that make me happy about planting and doing little gardens. And I got to pull all of those pretty things into this space. Somebody was getting rid of these spring-loaded pans, cake pans. The only thing that was wrong with them is they were a little bit rusty, but I liked that they were rusty, and I'm going to turn them into, shockingly, succulent gardens. I wanted a pot where I could put my soil, and I have these file boxes on hand. I took a sheet protector, just a basic one from the Dollar Tree. I printed out a really cute sign that I liked, and I sealed up the opening for the paper so moisture doesn't get in there, and just slid it inside. The amazing thing about this file box is it just happens to be the same size and quantity as the bags of a 1 cubic foot potting soil bag. It's 32 quarts. So I could just rip this bag open and pour the entire contents into this box and have it be bug-free, moisture-free, and I have easy access to it all of the time. First of all, I got into this project first thing this morning and didn't think about this. I love that you guys don't care about that. I appreciate it so much. Number 2, if you've ever read that kid's book to your grandkids or your own kids, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, it's this evolving book where if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want some milk. If you give him milk, he's going to want a nap. If you let him nap, then he's going to want a bedtime story. And it's just the cutest story about how one little thing will snowball into a big, big project. That's what this potting bench is. So the potting bench by itself was fine, but it made me look at where I was currently storing all of my potting and plant items. So I ended up organizing all of that. And then when I got the rack out and it looked pretty, I couldn't leave the area around it ugly, so I moved those things. And then when I moved those things, I realized there were weeds, so I had to weed. And then after I weeded, I had to sweep. So this quick project has evolved just a little. So I'm going to clean up and then show you how it looks now that it's all done. I saw so many great ideas on Pinterest, and I really, really would love to get a bigger potting bench someday. For right now, with what I had on hand, this does inspire me, and it allowed me to clean up a space that I was kind of ignoring before, and I actually put together 5 little succulent gardens that day. We've had rain ever since, but I cannot wait for a sunny day so I can go back and make some more. I'm also going to paint my hand tools just to freshen them up right now since we can't go shopping. And I'm going to let my kids go ahead and embellish them some. But I do really like this. I am excited about redoing the top once I have the correct pieces. But it worked just fine for the little planting gardens that I did, and it looks super cute at night. I have these little solar lights that I have out there, and it just looks really pretty when I take the dog out in the evening to go potty. This was the perfect little project for me to do. Someday I look forward to having a workbench that's bigger and incorporates a vintage sink so that I can, use the potting soil in there. But I'm already having so much fun making little gardens, and I want to make them and start dropping them off to neighbors just to let them know I'm still thinking about them. I am loving the things that you guys are posting on Facebook. If you haven't already gone there, there's a link in the description below. Make sure you go. I want to see the ideas that you have, the projects you're working on. Post the areas of your home that you're struggling with. This is going to be a positive, supportive community where you can go share the things you're excited about, get advice from others who might be struggling with something similar, and allow us to get to know each other during these times where we could use a couple new friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in 2 days. Bye.